On the right hand side of the combine, we're going to talk about a couple different adjustments and maybe some tips and tricks to help you do a better job of your harvest. We're going to start with the Tri-Sweep tailings processor. So under this panel right here, we have our Tri-Sweep tailings processor, and that's basically going to take all the material out of that return system, process it, put it back on the cleaning chute. One thing to keep in mind is if you are in green, tough conditions, we can get some buildup on the inside of that processor. One helpful tip is on the inside, on the deflector, on the inside of the combine, we can actually remove it. And when we remove that deflector, it will help material from building up starting at that deflector and moving down through the tailings processor. It'll help keep the tailings processor from plugging up and keep you running smoothly. As we rotate back, we have our clean grain elevator chain adjustment, right? So we have an adjusting rod and a bracket on the elevator. Once the washer on the adjusting rod becomes close to the bracket on the elevator, it's time to start removing links from the elevator chain. To do that, we go in through the bottom boot down here and remove the half link if there's a half link available. If there's no more half links available, chances are that elevator chain has reached the end of its service life and it's time to replace it. All right. As far as the chain adjustment goes, we do go in through the bottom of the boot. We come down here, we adjust the chain, and we just want that chain to slide back and forth on the sprocket itself. We don't want it pulling down off the sprocket. If it'll pull down off the sprocket, that means it's too loose. So it should just slide back and forth a little bit. Moving forward, we have a clean grain camera. So 250 series combine with automation has a camera. Looks like this right here. Located on the moisture bypass unit on the inside of the elevator, held in with 2 pins. All right. On occasion, we're going to need to clean this camera. Your display will tell you when it's time to clean the camera. We pull the front pin out, that camera will rotate out of the way, and we can wipe it off with a soft cloth. Keep in mind, we don't want to scratch the lens. We just want to make sure we give it a wipe to clean the material off. Pretty straightforward that way. Next, we have the actual moisture sensing bypass unit. So you'll see this guy again on the inside of the clean grain elevator. There's a couple different components to it. We have the actual moisture sensing fin. We have an electric motor, a fuse, and a little auger to empty the unit. On occasion, especially in green conditions, we experience a lot of them in Western Canada, we're going to have to clean this unit. So the moisture sensing fin, for example, again, don't use a screwdriver or a scraper to clean it off. Make sure you're wiping it with a rag. If you find it won't come off with a rag, you might have to wet it just a little bit to soften it up and then clean it off. If we get buildup in the auger, we pull the 2 pins out. We pull the auger and the cap off, and that lets us get in there to clean out the auger and the tubing assembly. When we reassemble, you're going to have to feel for a couple different clicks. So we need to line up the spline on the auger itself. We get 1 click. We keep rotating till we get the 2nd click and the cap is in place. Insert the pins back in and the unit's ready to go back together. If we do find we get the auger jammed up, there's a chance that you may have burnt the fuse. So if you follow the wire that goes into the motor, you have a little fuse holder there. If you're traveling down the field and your moisture is sitting at the same moisture all day long, never changes, there's a good chance that this fuse has burnt because we've gotten some buildup in the auger, and perhaps there's some material that has hardened in there and won't let that auger turn.